Hello, it's been a little while since I've done a video, so I thought I would just hop on and do one. This might be a bit of a longer video, so feel free to save it and come back to it when you've got a bit more time if you're interested, if I don't bore you to tears. I've just been thinking quite a lot about the term Christian counsellor, which is a term that I often use to describe myself, but it is a term that can be a little bit maybe confusing or just cause some sort of uncertainty or maybe some unhelpful assumptions. So I've just been kind of thinking through what it means for me and why I use that term to describe myself. I know I've been asked in the past, does Christian counsellor mean you counsel Christians, like you might say an addictions counsellor works with people with addictions? Or does being a Christian counsellor mean that you're always talking about the Bible, talking about Christian beliefs? Actually, no, neither of those is the case. I call myself a Christian counsellor because I am a Christian who is also a counsellor. My core counselling training had a basis on Christian principles and looked at how to integrate Christian faith into counselling theory, but doing so in a way that it was accessible and adaptable to suit anyone. So, is Christian counselling just for Christians? Absolutely not. Do you have to be a Christian to come and see me for counselling? Absolutely not. I am trained to work with issues connected to faith, religion and a wider spirituality, but that doesn't have to be a Christian faith. And the way that I do it, I would describe as being very client-led. It's very much, what does the client want? How is it relevant for them? Do they want to talk about faith issues, spiritual issues, stuff connected to religion? It's not about evangelising or pushing any particular faith, any particular beliefs. It's also not about judging your beliefs, your religion, your spirituality, and how that is connected to the rest of your life. So I work with people who are Christians. I also work with people who have a different faith. I also work with people who have no faith at all. I work with people that consider themselves very spiritual and people that don't. Everyone is welcome, regardless of their faith, their religion, their spirituality and what it means to them. So, I guess that kind of brings the question, well, what's the point? If it's not just about Christian theory, if it's not just about Christians getting counselling, what's the point of being a Christian counsellor? And I think, it's important just to consider some of the difficult issues that can come up around the connection between faith and counselling. There are some theories of counselling, some counsellors and psychologists and psychiatrists out there that would say that a faith, a religion or a spirituality should be kept completely separate from mental health care. There are some that that may go so far as to say that a faith, a religion or a spirituality is actually a sign of mental illness. And there are some that just don't really think it's relevant or important to mention any kind of spirituality when they're working with their clients. Some may even steer clients away from those kind of discussions if they start. And then, looking at things from the other side, some people that are connected to a faith, a religion, a spirituality, believe that counselling is a betrayal of that. So for people coming from those sorts of backgrounds who may recognise a need in themselves for some counselling, for some mental health support, there can be a lot of shame or a lot of fear in reaching out for that support, reaching out for counselling or whatever it is. Now, I believe that we all have a spiritual side to us, and that may be experienced in different ways and to different extents from person to person. But I do believe that spirituality is a part of who we are, and so it cannot and should not be separated off. I aim to work with the whole person, so not ignoring or excluding any part of who you are. not, having to put one part in a box so that we can look at the rest of it without being distracted. So if faith or religion or spirituality is important to a client and relevant for them in their counselling journey, I'm happy to incorporate that in the work that we do together. In fact, it's often something that I ask pretty much every first session with a client. One of the questions that I will ask them is whether they consider themselves to have a faith, a religion or spirituality, and kind of how important that is, how that's relevant for them, what difference that makes for them in their lives, just so I can get that background of where they're coming from. And then I will let them know, if that's something that you'd like to talk about in counselling, then you're welcome to do so, and happy to discuss those sorts of things with you and have the training to do so in an appropriate way. So there are many people for whom experiences around faith or religion or spirituality have caused harm. There are many people that have found healing through faith, religion and spirituality. And there are many people who've experienced both harm and healing in that way. And whatever your experience, whatever your background, wherever you are now in terms of your spirituality, you are welcome in my counselling room, and so is your spirituality. For some people who consider themselves Christians, they may find it useful, reassuring, helpful to know that the counsellor that they're working with also has a Christian background. They may never talk about Christianity, they may never talk about their beliefs, they may never mention God or the Bible or anything else, but for them just to know that the person that they're speaking to gets it. To know that I've had that lived experience of the challenges and the joys of living a life of a Christian faith, and also the challenges and the joys of being connected to a Christian community, which of course is made up of humans who are imperfect and can make mistakes. This is also true for people with other faith. They may find it helpful, reassuring to know that they're talking to someone that knows how important and influential faith and religion can be in their lives, and that I'm not going to be dismissive of that or tell them that they're wrong or they're ill for holding certain beliefs and having certain spiritual practices. Other people may not follow a specific faith or religion, but appreciate having someone with a willingness and the training to discuss spiritual matters in an appropriate, considered and helpful way in a counselling context. So, is it important? Yes. Does it mean I think I'm better than anybody else? No. Does it mean that I'm definitely the right person for you? Maybe, maybe not. That's for you to decide. But I'd be really interested to know what you think about what I've shared today. Have you heard of Christian counselling or heard people describe themselves as Christian counsellors? What are those ideas that those phrases may have brought to mind? What do you think of it now? Is it something that you would be interested in exploring? Is it something that you think may be relevant to other people that you know? Do feel free to leave your comments below. Let me know whether you think spirituality and counselling can go hand in hand, whether there is a relevance and a link. And do feel free to share this video with anyone you think might find it helpful. Okay, so for now, I'll say goodbye and I will see you again soon. Bye.